So this is by far the worst threat to humanity the world has ever seen, and it's self-inflicted, large part by the UN. Folks, welcome to the channel. And yeah, trying to not be dramatic, but that's the only way you can put it. Fertility rate total, birth per woman, we're getting there. We're getting to that 2.1 replacement rate by which we start going extinct. This is likely already happening. Now, if you're not familiar with any of this, as you probably know or don't know, depending on what kind of bullshit you believe from the mainstream media, men can't have children, only women. And since men can't have children, for each couple, you need each woman to have 2 children at least, so as to replace those 2 adults that will eventually die. But because accidents, tragedies happen, you need a little bit more than just 2. You actually need 2.1 to sustain the population as it is. Now, since children come in full units, you cannot have 0.1 kid. You need that to spread in the population, but the golden number is 2.1. Once fertility rate goes below 2.1, you start becoming extinct as a species in this planet. Thanks to the UN and their Malthusian approach to viewing children, people, especially those nasty poors that Thomas Malthus back in the day wanted to get rid of. And several philosophers and scientists and experts and people from the elites over the years have assured us time and again that the greatest threat to humanity was overpopulation. In fact, that was always bullshit, and they know, but we've been lied to nonetheless. The greatest threat is this. We are looking at 2.3 by 2020. We're not in 2020 anymore. We are in 2023. And if you go by, and this has been even accelerating from past years, you're losing 0.4 fertility rate per year. We're probably already there. Right now, we're at this moment where we cannot sustain this number anymore. You've been told that the way in which the population has been increasing, 8 billion people, that's a whole lot of people. Well, that number is not only growing, it's growing at a slower and slower rate, and it will eventually stop and will start going down. And then that's when we're all screwed. That's when we're all fucked. The moment in which we cannot sustain the population anymore, that's when we're all screwed. It's already the case that children being born today have no way of sustaining the aging population that already exists. I don't know if you grasp the complicated situation we're all in. There's just not enough people. And not only that, we'll all see this. I mean, unless you're like 100 years old, you'll see this affect your life each year more so. The idea that you have any kind of protection against this is math. There's nothing you can do about this chart going this way. The powers, the elites, and so on have made sure that people don't want to have kids, that sperm count has reached records low. People are not financially incentivized to have kids. Socially, even, it's something that is frowned upon to even have children in some groups. So you won't change the mentality of the people that could already have kids, right? And unless you do that, you're done. You're screwed. Nature doesn't give a damn about your LGBT ideology. Nature only cares about women in reproductive age and with a healthy body so as to bear children. That's all they care about. They don't care. Nature doesn't care how you identify, right? Doesn't give a damn about any of that. If you are of a childbearing age and you can have kids, well, unless you're having more than 2 kids, you're not contributing to this problem. This is something that Elon Musk was talking about. And yeah, this is a tweet from him. I think it's from today. And this is why we ended up this way. Share of non-parent younger than 50, you're old as fuck already at 50, who say they are not likely to have children is up from 2018. People don't want to have kids anywhere. This isn't just in the United States. This number, right, will start going down in our lifetime. This is insane. But this number that you see there is reflected here in a map. United States, 1.8. Not enough to replace the existing population. Canada, 1.57, not enough. Mexico, all of these Latins, almost none of these have enough people. Mexico, even lower than US, 1.68. Europe, aging population, rapidly so. Germany, there you go, 1.57. Sweden, where you're being paid to have kids, basically 1.67. UK, there you go, 1.6. Spain, aging population, 1.27. Portugal, 1.43. Italy, 1.22, and it goes on. And there's, Russia. The hope of humanity is in Russia. Okay, 1.6. China, 1.45. Nowhere. You only have that numbers going a little bit better in Africa. And even then, when you look at some of these countries, Niger, it's like 20 million people in these countries. You're not going to put a dent to this graphic that you have here. This is unavoidable. This is inevitable. This is something that you'll see get worse as years go by. We're already there. As the population keeps aging, you will have more and more problems, different issues. The kids being born right now will not have a way of sustaining the economy with so many old people all over the world. And it's because of these guys in a large part, all of these Malthusian assholes that have convinced the planet that we need to have, less and less people. Get rid of the poor. That's how you eliminate poverty, right? We're seeing this result right now. So, guys, this is complicated. This will make the economy even more painful than it already is. This is already happening because this graphic is from 2020, 2.3, dropping at a 0.4 rate each year. We're there already. And when you go past that 2.1, you are becoming extinct as a species in this planet. Guys, as always, prepare, because that's what this channel is all about. For a lot of this stuff, I would actually recommend bugging out and relocating, especially the idea of being fluid, not in your gender, but in your options. This is something that I know it's a little bit of a, more to ask, especially if you're not used to traveling and so on, but the idea of being flexible with the conditions that you have and how things change and what country adopts better policies, that will say a lot of how that country fares in the not so distant future. So countries that have very tight regulations and don't allow families, and especially when you have more of the woke agenda, that is catastrophic, because people not only have the natural difficulty, the biological difficulty of having kids, the financial difficulty of having kids, how expensive is it, but also the social idea that having kids is not a good idea. Well, this impacts, and we don't live that long. Once we reach that point of no longer being capable of replacing our existing population, we'll start dropping like damn flies, because people don't live that long anyway. So for that sort of stuff, bugging out and relocating, also surviving the economic collapse and sweet survival skills, all of those available in the links below. Guys, remember that it's the last couple days for the free fly in Star Citizen, the game I'm playing in my video games and movies channel. The links for all of that, they're below in the description. See you next time. Take care.